Today's learning target is I can find the area of parallelograms.
Today we're going to be finding the area of some different polygons. Now, I know you've talked about area in previous years. Just a reminder, area is how many square units cover something. So here's an example of how that might be helpful. If you were to buy paint, and you bought a gallon of paint, if that gallon of paint said that it covers 400 feet, okay, you wouldn't really know how much paint, how much that would actually cover. Okay, so it covers 400 feet. Does that mean 400 feet if you make a strip that's a foot wide, or if it's 400 feet if you make that strip 5 feet wide? You wouldn't know how much paint it covers. But a typical gallon of paint covers 400 square feet. So what that means is you can take a square, that's a foot on each side, and a gallon of paint would cover about 400 of those squares. So then you can figure out what the area is of your wall. You'll know if you have enough paint. Now let's take a look at how we find the area of a parallelogram. So here is an example of a parallelogram right here. Okay, now this example here shows us what happens if we cut this parallelogram and take this side right here and move it to the other side, so taking this and moving it here. Now you notice if you do that and you stick those together, you get a rectangle. And you probably remember from years past that the area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width. Now the area of a parallelogram, the formula for that's going to be similar. We're going to take the base times the height. Okay, here's where you have to be careful here. Though we don't want to take the height as this measurement. When we measure height, we go straight up and down. Okay, so, and the reason we do that is we can see if we take off this corner piece and put it over here, okay, then the height becomes this edge here, which is kind of the length, and the base stays the same there, that's the length. So our formula is the base times the height. So let's take a look at how this would look if I wanted to find the area of this parallelogram. Now, I added an extra number in here just so I could show you something. When we look at this, you see this little dotted line here. It shows that this is a straight up and down. It makes a 90-degree angle. Okay, so my formula is area of a parallelogram equals base times height. Okay, I see my base here is 6.2 centimeters, and now my height. Now remember, this is not my height. This is the length of this diagonal. I want the straight up and down. So here's my height. So I'm going to take 7.5. When I solve that, I get the area equals 46.5. And remember, your label anytime for area is going to be whatever units we're using. We're using centimeters, and we have to have the squared sign because they're squares.
Now, when you do your assignment today, I want it to look exactly like this. So you write out the formula, area equals base times height for each problem. Then you plug in your numbers. Okay, the base was 6.2, the height was 7.5. We plug those in, and then we have our answer with the units and the label.